Welcome to my live stream from Alaska. I'm in Alaska right now. I'm 9 hours behind the UK. That's taken some getting used to, but it is very, very exciting to be here. I'm on board Norwegian Encore. So if you have any questions about Norwegian, about Encore, about Alaska, I'm going to do my best to answer as many as I can this morning. Hello to everyone who is in the future. Some of you are perhaps even in the past. So nice to see you all. I have been to Alaska before, once when I was 11 years old. I did it with Norwegian Cruise Line, Norwegian Spirit. So I'm back to sort of recreate that first cruise, the first cruise that I ever took. This is the exact same itinerary. A much newer, more exciting cruise ship, as much as I love the Norwegian Spirit. But that's what I'm doing. I'm recreating my first ever cruise, which is very, very exciting. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Apologies, this was a bit last minute, but when you're on a cruise, and particularly in Alaska, the internet, you know, there's mountains everywhere. I just have to grab a time when the internet works, and it seems to work quite well right now. So yes, thank you for joining me. As Kevin says, if you have a question, can you start it with question in capital letters? That just helps me to pick out what is a question and what is, you know, general chit chat. Please feel free to have a general chit chat. But yeah, that helps me to pick out the questions. Just like this one from Matt, who says, is this your first time on Encore? And if so, what do you think of it? So this is my first cruise on Encore, but I have been on Encore before. So I did the press launch from the German shipyard to England in 2019. It was 2 days, I think. It rained the entire time. So a lot of the ship was closed. You know, the promenade deck was just flooded with water. The go-karts were closed most of the time because it was raining. So technically, I have been on Encore before. But not for a proper cruise like this. So yes, I really like this ship. It's really interesting for me. The last Norwegian cruise I did was on Prima, which is a bit newer, and I can sort of see things on here where I'm like, that's where that came from. I can see. But yes, it's interesting for me to go back and see the things that I thought about this ship in 2019. I think I agree with everything 2019 B said, but to get to do it for a proper cruise is good. Like you cannot explore a ship like this in 2 days. It is massive. Kevin asked, how was the dog sled excursion? It was amazing. It was fantastic. So yesterday in Juneau, I got to meet huskies, or all kinds of dogs, to be fair. And I got to do a little dog sled. It wasn't snowy. It's like a summer sled with wheels, but it was so cool. They were jumping. They were so excited. Their wet tails were wagging. They were so friendly. It was really cool. I did sort of a similar excursion in Norway where I went to meet sled dogs, but I never got to go on the sled. So that was really, really cool. I am here creating a separate YouTube video for Norwegian about Alaska. That's why I'm doing all of these excursions in every single port. So from this cruise, you'll get my normal content that you're very used to on my channel, and then also extra stuff that I'm making for Norwegian, which is more about Alaska. So yes, I wouldn't normally do excursions in every single port, but also I am so far from home. So it feels like I want to make the most out of the time that we have in the ports. Oh my goodness, thank you for your questions. Kevin says, any cool food items you've had that are different from other cruises? I don't think so. I mean, this is my 13th Norwegian cruise. My first cruise was with Norwegian when I was 11, and then again when I was 13. And when I was an adult and I picked my own cruise, I picked Norwegian. I think I've eaten everything on all of the menus before. Not that that's a bad thing. But yeah, I can't think of anything that's particularly surprised me. It feels like very comfortable for me to go on a Norwegian cruise. I sort of settle back into it again. Captain Hudson version 4 has been arriving. Yes, I, for the first time on this cruise, met a Captain Hudson, I would say in the wild. He wasn't unattended with other people who were on this cruise, who came up to me with their Captain Hudson, which was really, really cool. That's never happened to me before. Hello to my dad. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you in here. Are there any Alaska cruises sailing from the UK? No, you would need to do a long 9-hour flight to probably get to Seattle or Vancouver. And I mean, if you had a very long time and a very big budget, I'm sure you could go around the world. But yeah. Rich says, Emma realized that Alaska is too beautiful to be on a live stream. It is very beautiful. It is very beautiful. We had our first port yesterday. That's our first Alaskan port. And sort of wandering around there, I'm like, I see why people like this. You know, it's very nice. It is a very nice place. It's really interesting. For me, even just the trees are really interesting. It's very, very different from the UK. The weather, though, is exactly the same. So many people were preparing me for, oh, you have to be super prepared for all these layers and drizzle and hats and coats. this is the same as at home. This is fine. The weather in Seattle where I got on, just the same as England. If you're from England, don't worry about Alaskan weather. Oh, what do you think is different from the Spirit and the Encore? Is it a different experience on a larger ship with the same itinerary? So I was, of course, 11 when I went on Norwegian Spirit in Alaska. So the things I remember are things like being able to get pizza in the buffet, like very small things that were very exciting to me as an 11-year-old, but I probably appreciate other things now. Encore's a lot bigger than Spirit. Spirit is sort of a more traditional cruise. Norwegian are not a traditional cruise line. There's really no dress code. You can wear shorts in the main dining room. All the included restaurants, there's no fixed times. You just show up and you eat. So both on all the ships, it's very, very casual. But on Encore, you know, you have laser tag, you have VR, you have go-karts, you have all of those things. None of that was on Spirit, built in 1996, I think. So it's just different, but I love both. I really hope that I get to go back on Spirit because I'd like to see, she's had quite a few refits since my first cruise, and I want to see how they've sort of changed her over time. This went from Seattle. Yes, Seattle, this cruise. This is the 7-night round trip. I picked Seattle because there were direct flights from London. It was just easiest for me. As it's very early in the Alaska season, is everything open? Everything that I've wanted to do is open, yes. I think we're the first or maybe the second sailing of this season. But yeah, all the shops are open. Every touristy thing is open. They know when the cruise ships are coming. You know, we were here with another ship yesterday, so we're not the only ones out here. But I think that's really nice. I think I would prefer to be here earlier in the season when we're only with one other ship. Some of these ports have 5 cruise ships in them at busy times. So I'm all for cruising sort of out of season. Some funny comments in here. Thank you so much to the moderators who look after this chat. I really, really appreciate it. Jonathan says, what do you think about sled cats? I think that would never work. Even if the cats had the power, imagine trying to organize a group of cats. I don't think that would ever work. What Alaskan excursions would you recommend? I will let you know when I'm finished with my Alaskan excursions. I would definitely recommend the one I did yesterday. It was very cool, but I'll let you know because I have excursions in the next 2 ports. Did I miss the cookie update? I haven't found any cookies yet, so when I find some, I'll let you know. But I haven't found any yet. I found a lot of food though, a lot of cake, good cake, yeah. So don't feel like Emma's missing out. Emma is doing okay. Can you post the daily newsletter that you get in your room? I have one right here if you want to see it now. Here is my Skagway. So this is the kind of thing that arrives in your room every evening. And it says, you know, that's our day 4, a little bit about Skagway. It says, you know, carry some ID, carry your Encore card. It says what's going on around the ship. So Norwegian cruises, what I used to say is, oh, I love cruises because you can just go for a walk and you'll find something happening. And that's what I thought every cruise ship was like, because I only cruised with Norwegian really when I was a teenager. And then I realized, you know, not every cruise line is like that, but Norwegian are like that, because this is the daily schedule. So this is everything that is happening all day, every day. You don't have to do any of it, of course, but if you see something and you want to go, you can do it. So there's quite a lot happening, which is I really like. I saw Choir of Man in the theater, which was amazing. I'm a big fan of those sort of musical shows. There's a comment that says, hello to your mum. Hello to my mum, who's also watching. Thank you for joining me. This was quite a last minute live stream, but the internet is good, so I'm just going to take it. Have you seen a bear? I haven't seen any bears yet. No, I would like to see a bear from a distance, but I haven't seen any yet. No. Are you going to do the go-karts? I don't think I will this time. I did them on Prima, great fun. I don't really feel the need to do it again. There's so many other things on this cruise that I want to do. I think it's quite tricky to see everything in every single port and also do everything on the ship. And if something has to give, it's going to be the go-karts. You know, I'm not gonna skip on something that's like one of these sailings to go on the go-karts. So yeah, good fun, but I've done it. Particularly feel the need to do it again. Did you take the White Pass train? I haven't, but I'm doing it today. So my day it's just started. I've just woken up. So I'm doing it today. It looks fantastic. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. I was so happy. I was doing research earlier and I found out each train compartment has a toilet in it. And I was like, yes, that's so good. I love that. I haven't seen any whales yet, but I have spoken to other people who are on here who have seen whales. I think I don't know. I think things are slightly different when it's earlier in the season. I think the whales are still on their way, aren't they? I don't know. Oh, Jamie says, does this mean I get to have the next 2 days off work? So we normally do these live streams on Fridays, and I feel like it's Wednesday, but to be honest, it could be any day. That's one of the things I like about cruises. It doesn't days of the week, it doesn't matter. It's sea days, port days. When are we in? When do I have to meet for my excursion? That's really the only thing I have to think about. But I'm sorry. You could take the next 2 days off work, but I'm not responsible for that if you do. Welcome to Seattle. Did you do anything? So I had 1 day in Seattle just to sort of try and get into the time zone. I think I was too confident about the time zone. I think I thought, oh, it's fine going that way. Normally it is, but 9 hours to here is quite a lot. So I did all of the top things you should see in Seattle, you know, the market, the Space Needle, all of that stuff in 1 day. Is Alaska everything you wanted so far? Is it better than you expected? It's what I expected, I think. I mean, we've only had one port. I haven't got off yet today, so it's a limited case study, but it is what I expected, yes. Yeah. Oh, would 11-year-old Emma think you're awesome, or would you roast you with a devastating put down? I think she would think I was awesome. I hope so. 11-year-old me loved cruising, so I just tell her how much I get to go on cruises, right? I think I would like it. Yes. So many lovely messages in here. Thank you so much, everybody. I've had so many questions, so many comments on all my posts, and I really, really appreciate it. You seem especially happy today, are you? Well, I'm on a cruise in Alaska. It's a very cool cruise. I think I have nothing to not be happy about. That's pretty good, right? It is weird sort of doing my, you know, obviously I'm working while I'm here, and it's weird because normally I'm quite used to working with people who are in American time zones. So I do most of my work at home in the evenings, and that's when people are emailing me. But here I wake up to loads of emails because everyone's done their day. And then nothing as the day goes on, which is kind of nice, to be honest. It's kind of good. How much is the internet package on Norwegian? I'm not sure how much it costs because I have the free at sea package. So most people, I think, when you book a Norwegian cruise, you can either book free at sea standard or free at sea plus, and they both have some internet in there. So I don't know how much it is to buy separate from that. I'll have a look and I will find out for you. But I think every Norwegian cruise I've done in since the pandemic, at least, I've had the free at sea, so I haven't bought it separately. Jamie says, Emma, age 11, you get to do this as a job? That is so cool. I hope so. I think 11-year-old me would like it. What time does the buffet close? I've never found it closed, but I can have a look for you because in this daily schedule it says when the buffet is open. So the buffet is open 6 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. and then 11:30 till 3. And then 5:30 till 9:30. Yes, I think that's it. And then there's other places that are open later. So if you want to go to have late night snacks in the local, which is sort of the bar grill place, that's till 3:30 a.m. So there's plenty. Oh, how are you finding the internet on the ship? We lost connectivity for a solid 3 to 4 days. I haven't lost connectivity at any point. It's not that, well, it's all right. It's doing okay for this live stream, right? It's yeah, I haven't lost the internet at any point yet. Maybe I will after this. I don't know, but I'm docked right now. So I thought while we're still, I thought this would be a good time to do. Yeah. Oh, it looks like $110 for an upgrade to unlimited Wi-Fi for the week. That sounds about right. Yes. My dad says, please, if you can start with a question, it will help Emma to spot it. Yes, if it will, it definitely will, because, you know, I'm talking and trying to read at the same time, and it's a weird set of skills, and I'm making it up as I go along. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know if the buffet actually is closed between those times completely, but there's plenty of food in other places. Like, I can't imagine being hungry on here. The food portions are pretty big as well. That's one thing I always notice on Norwegian cruises. I think sometimes we could share a main and it would be fine, but I'm doing my best that I can. How many cruises have you done so far today? If we count every single cruise for work, new ship launch, river cruise, ferry, cruise that was cancelled while I was at dinner, then this is 64, which is crazy. If there's no Pepsi, do you still enjoy Coke the same? There is no Pepsi. It is the Coke ship. I'm used to it. I don't think in the US you have Pepsi Zero, but you don't have Pepsi Max, and it's not quite the same. So I don't feel like I'm missing it because I don't think I can even get it here. What restaurants have you been to so far? So I went to the Q Texas Smokehouse. I think that's what it's called. That's a specialty restaurant. But going back to the free at sea thing, if you get the lower free at sea, you get 2 specialty meals. And if you get the higher one, I think it's 4, maybe more than that. But I also have the highest loyalty status with Norwegian, which gets me 2 specialty meals. So that's 4 specialty meals, which is way more than I normally do. So I did straight away that one. I did the smokehouse. I've been in the main dining room. I've been to the American diner. I've been to the buffet, and I've been to the local. And I have more specialty meals coming up. So there is a lot. Yes. How many specialty restaurants are there? There are loads. I'm not sure how many there are off the top of my head. Let me have a look at the list. There are loads. Yeah, thank you so much for your just nice messages. Free at sea, does that mean it can be purchased before the sailing? Yes. So when you go on Norwegian's website, it'll have like a cruise only fare. I did do that once. I think I did that on Norwegian Sun. Then free at sea. I think for this one, when I was looking at the upgrade for if you were in an inside cabin, it was like $300 a week for specialty meals, a drinks package, and some Wi-Fi, which like that's pretty good, right? And then the free at sea plus is like more premium drinks, more specialty, more everything. That's kind of what it is. But yes, because I am here making videos for Norwegian, they obviously know I'm here. So they have given my travel agents who I work with extra credit. So if you do want to book a Norwegian cruise, you get the same price as you would anywhere else, but they've given us like free stuff. So I think that's pretty good. Oh, why do the Coke ships not do the freestyle Coke thing? It's so good. I'm not sure. I do like that. I do like the freestyle soda machines. But when I'm in my cabin, I have squash, of course. You know, you can take me out of England, but I'm still bringing a bit of England with me. I have some of these little squirty squashes. That is what I normally drink in my cabin. How is Captain Hudson enjoying Alaska? There he is. He's good, I think. I haven't got him together with any of the other Captain Hudsons yet, but he can tell that there's other Captain Hudsons on this ship. Is there a teeny tiny kettle? There's no kettle in here. I'm sure you could ask for one, but by standard, when you take an American cruise line in America, there's no kettles in the cabins. What is the best port to sail out of for Alaska? Best depends on you, right? There's no real best, I don't think. A lot of people sail out of Vancouver. I sailed out of Seattle. For me, best was which one had direct flights from London at times that suited me. So that's what I booked. I'm doing a round trip. I'm doing the very sort of classic 7 days, most famous ports. You can do, longer cruises, ones that go up and you go on a train or whatever else. But for me, this is the exact itinerary that I did for my first cruise. So I wanted to recreate that. So that's why I picked this one. Yeah, lots of people say Vancouver in here, but yeah, I don't know. Seattle worked perfectly for me. A direct flight, about 9.5 hours, which is not too bad. Since this is your second time on Encore, how's it been since the media cruise? Favorite spot on Joy was the observation lounge. Yes, the observation lounge is really nice. It's really good because it has windows on 3 sides and lots of comfy seats. And I did fall asleep at one point in one of those seats, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I haven't really seen any wildlife yet, no, but we've only had one port in Alaska. And if I look outside right now, I'm right by the trees. So if I wait long enough, maybe I'll see something. Yeah. Yay for Seattle. See, that's what I mean. When you say best, it's so hard to say what is best. People say, what is the best cruise line for Alaska? What do you want? Do you want to go on go-karts? Because they're Norwegian and the best entirely, because they're the only ones with go-karts. Do you want, I don't know. It's just different. There's not really a best. It just means different. I've heard tap water on cruise ships is drinkable. Is it, and would you recommend it? Yes, that's what I drink. That's what I have in my squash. I normally put squash in it. I just like the taste of squash. It's always drinkable, but it's not always tasty. That's what I say. On new ships like this, though, Encore's built in 2019, so the water will be pretty nice. On some of the old ones, it has to be drinkable, but it doesn't have to be tasty. So it just tastes a bit weird sometimes. How many nights would you suggest for a first cruise? I think 7 is perfect. I think if you do, a lot of people do, I'm going to do a taster 2 or 3 night cruise, and that's fine. But 2 or 3 night cruises do tend to be more party cruises. They're not really a representation of what an actual cruise is like a lot of times, but you do get used to, you know, am I okay being on a ship? If you're concerned about that side, I guess it's a good way to try. But I think 7 nights gives you enough time to properly settle in. You know, you find your favorite places, you find your favorite restaurants, you find whatever you like, you sort of get into a routine. It's enough time to unpack. If you're doing 2 days, it's barely worth unpacking, but it's not too long. Not that there really is too long, but I think 7 days is about perfect. When is your Alaska cruise? Right now, I'm in Alaska right now. I'm in Skagway, Alaska. Yeah. What are people wearing to the dining room for dinner? I've heard Alaska cruises are more casual. So Norwegian Cruise Line's thing is freestyle cruising. They were the ones, I think, back in the 60s, way back in the 60s, they came up with this thing, freestyle cruising. A lot of the other cruise lines do it now a bit, but not really the same way Norwegian do. But it means that there's no fixed dining times for the included restaurants, and there's really no dress codes. I think there is a dress code which says no tank tops or baseball caps, but I have been in there and counted 16 baseball caps. Like, people wear hats a lot. So yeah, very, very casual. Norwegian is super, super chill. Going back to when people say, what is the best cruise line? You know, this is probably the most casual cruise line that's in Alaska. So if you don't want to dress up, which, to be honest, I don't really want to when I'm in Alaska, because I'm normally wearing like proper trousers and walking boots and like a jacket. Sometimes I just want to go to dinner like that, like I'm hungry, right? But I'm still wearing, when I'm on the ship, like, this is a t-shirt dress. It's comfortable. The actual ship is pretty warm. Like, I always find this, whatever the weather is like outside, the ship inside is normally the opposite, because they're trying to compensate. So they're trying to heat up the ship because everyone's cold because it's cold outside. And the same the other way. If you're, you know, if it's really hot outside, the ship's inside will be really cold because they'll have the air conditioning on. So yeah, but it's very, very casual. As long as you're dressed and like clean, that's about it. that is all you need. I'm in Alaska right now. Yes. When is Hudson back in stock? So when we have had all of the version 4s delivered, then I will start thinking about version 5. And we need to decide what theme we want for version 5. I'm not sure. Then we need to have him designed and do the tests and everything like that. So it's going to be quite a long time. Before the next version comes out, though, we will have our Captain Hudson's children's books coming out. I'm planning on having those ready for June. So there should be 3 Captain Hudson's children's books coming out in June, which is, it could be so good. I read them all on the plane again. Yeah. What is the outside temperature like? Are you laying up like a North Pole expedition, or is it like back home? It is just like back home. You know, I think if you're used to sort of drizzly cold weather, this is fine. When we did our sled dog tour yesterday, the people who were working there were just wearing long sleeve t-shirts. Like, they're so used to this. But then there's people who I've met on here who are from, you know, Florida or somewhere, and they've got their winter coats on, because it just depends what sort of weather you're used to. But it's been sort of, I think, around 50 Fahrenheit. When I'm here and I Google the temperature, it just comes up in Fahrenheit and it doesn't put it in Celsius for me. So I'll have to work that out. But yes, so excited for the books. Me too. I'm it's really nice to have a thing, like a physical thing. Like, we're like, oh, I'm so proud of this. Yeah, it's exciting, very exciting. Yeah, not that cold. It's not. I mean, the thing is I went into the Arctic Circle in winter, and that was snow boots, that was multiple layers, that was everything. That was cold. This is not cold. This is a, you know, I think in England at the moment this is spring sort of weather. But yeah, don't worry about it too much. I think the main thing is you need some sort of waterproof jacket, some sort of light raincoat, because it does seem to like drizzle for a bit and then stop, but that's about it. How many options of durations of cruises are there in Alaska? There's quite a lot. I mean, you're going to want at least 7 nights, but you can do 7 nights. You can do 2 weeks. You can do longer than that if you want to. People add on, you know, of course, stays on either ends and train trips and all kinds of things you can do in Alaska. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure in some places in Alaska it is super cold, but here is totally fine. Totally fine. Don't worry. Just come back from a cruise to Morocco. Very nice. Lovely and warm. Yes, very nice. Have you checked out or reviewed the solo cabins? I haven't. I'm always interested in this, though, on Norwegian cruises, because they're across cruise line that does solo cruising different from any other cruise line. Most of them will have some sort of solo rooms, but there'll be, I've stayed solo in a cabin, but it's just a normal cabin, a normal inside cabin. But on Norwegian, they have specifically made cabins for one person where there's like one bed, like a big single bed basically, and then like a bathroom in the corner and wardrobe and stuff. But it's a small cabin for one person, which is really cute. And then they have little lounges and stuff. My understanding is this cruise is sold out, and I don't know anyone who is staying in a solo cabin. If anyone is on here and they are staying in one, I'd love to see it. But I can't just sort of show up and go in someone's room. So yeah. Any general impressions on American cruises versus European cruises? There's a lot of hats on here. A lot of hats. I didn't realize that I don't normally see hats like in the theater, but when I sit here, I'm just counting people's hats. I don't know if that's a thing. Let me know if that is a thing. Are you going to stop by Disneyland? I have no plans to stop by Disneyland. No, I have been to Disneyland Hong Kong. That's the only Disneyland I've been to. If I was going to go to Disneyland, I'd probably do Paris because that's quite close to me. But yeah, no plans on this trip. I'm heading straight home after this for sure. Is room service free? It is not free. I can't remember how much it is, but it is. Oh, it is here. It is just a fixed $9.95 all-day menu or $4.95 breakfast menu, and then 20% gratuity. Yes. Have you ever bid on a cabin upgrade? I have bid on them. I've never won one, but I have bid on them. But then, of course, I've always put in the lowest bid because, when I've booked a cabin, I'm happy with that cabin. Of course, it's not like, I think sometimes people book like a guaranteed inside, but they really don't want an inside. Don't book it then, book what you're happy with, and then anything else is good. Yeah, Disneyland Hong Kong, but not Paris. Too funny. Yeah, it was when Hong Kong Disneyland launched, so it was cheap. That was the reason. Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah, I don't know where the Disneylands are, to be honest. I don't know. Will says, what is your favorite cruise line that you would recommend? There's a different answer for every single person that I'm speaking to. There's 37,000 answers, I think, for this one. So if you head to emmacruises.com, put in your email address, you'll get a guide of all the different cruise lines. It compares them, cost, how busy they are, everything like that. And then I have a free email series that goes out every 3 days, which is just downloading everything in my brain about cruising for you, just me writing it down. So hopefully that is helpful. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I could just sit here and just watch the comments coming in. They're going so fast. Howdy from Texas. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yes, so we are partway, day 4, I think, into a 7-day cruise. We're off on the train today, which is very exciting. It's going to be very, very cool. I have been looking at pictures of these trains, though, and it does look like they're held up with just twigs and sticks, but I'm sure it's fine. And then we're going to Ketchikan, and then we have a stop, like a technical stop in Canada. Not there for very long, but they have to do that by law. Bit of a strange law, but they do have to do that. Vancouver's not set up as a full-time cruise port, so they do their best with what they have. It can be chaotic, but it's still my favorite place to sail from. Yes, I would love to go to Vancouver. Absolutely love to. The embarkation in Seattle was fine. I had the earliest embarkation time of 11:30 till 12, which is so good because my last cruise I got on at 8 p.m. So I missed not just lunch but dinner. But this one, it took about half an hour in total to drop off the bags, go through security and everything like that. But I was on board and I went straight to lunch, which I love. You'll see that in my video, of course. I'm going to make my normal sort of story style video of, I went on this cruise. This is what I ate. This is the shows I watched. This is what the cabin's like. I'm going to be making that for my channel. And then I'm making more videos for Norwegian's channel. So when you see my video at the end, it'll say, if you want to see more about husky dogs or whatever it is, watch this one next. And then that one will be on Norwegian's channel. And then they'll link back to each other. That is my plan. That is my plan. What bucket list cruises do you have left, or have you done them all? I don't think I've done them all. Definitely haven't done them all. So most of the cruises I've done have been out of the US and in Europe. I have cruised a couple of times in Asia. Definitely interested in doing more Asia cruises. I've never been to Australia. I've never been to New Zealand. I've never been to anywhere like that. I'd love to go back to Hawaii. I was a child when I went to Hawaii. So, I've never done Panama Canal. There's the world is very big. There's lots of cruises. I've never been to Antarctica, of course. There's loads. There's loads and loads and loads. Oh my goodness. Ever flights could be a fun channel. No. Planes are absolutely a like tolerable. I don't know. I just tolerate planes to get somewhere. I close my eyes, hope it's over. Like, I don't really enjoy going on planes. Did you say the name of the sled dog kennel? I didn't, but I don't remember what it is called, to be honest. And the thing that the logo was like Alaska with an X at the end. I don't know if that helps you. Maybe that is one. I'm not sure. How many of the Oasis class ships have you been on? I've only been on one. I've only been on one so far. How much planning do you do for the activities on the ship? So the only thing that needs to be booked on here was the big theatre show, Choir of Man. And I booked that before I got on board. Once you sort of check in online, you can book things on the app thing. But once I got on board, I thought I would check and see, can you still book them? And it's on for 2 days, and both of the shows were still available to book. So if you don't book them before, like, it seems like it's fine. They release them anyway. I'm sure some people book and then don't go. So it's okay, but that's the only thing that has to be booked. Everything else is just show up and then sit down. And I will say I do like just going for a walk on here and just being like, I'll just see something and then sit down. And I always see something like it's someone doing teppanyaki, it's some trivia, it's some game show, it's some live music. There's a lot of music on here, and there's a lot of different bars and lounges on here. It's really interesting that the last one I was on was Prima, and this one is Encore, which is a bit older, from 2019. But there's certain things I definitely prefer about both. I think if I was going to make my favorite ship, I would definitely add Indulged Food Hall from Prima onto here, definitely. But there's just, different things I prefer from both. I'd have to make my own combination of all the ships. I will say this one has a really nice waterfront. So the promenade deck, a lot of cruise ships are getting rid of promenade decks completely. But this one has bars and restaurants out on it. It's not really the weather to sit outside and eat. I think your food would go really cold, but there's loads of seats that are kind of in. And no one really seems to go there. I don't know why, because it's the perfect place in Alaska to watch a sail in or a sail out. And you see some people there sort of snuggled up on the comfortable chairs. It's a giant balcony, right? But that's really good for Alaska. That's really nice. Some cruise ships are very sort of inward facing. This one feels very out. There's windows everywhere, which is good. This is a round trip cruise. This is not a one way. It is a round trip. It looks so much nicer than the Mediterranean. It's just different. It's very, very different. In the Mediterranean, in a lot of the ports you go to, you're just sort of in the middle of a city in Italy or something. Whereas here, it's very sort of, tourism is a very big thing here. So it's very geared up for cruise ships. It's very geared up for people to come and for tourists. Is there a main dining room traditional or lots of small places Virgin style? It's a bit of both. So there's 3 main dining rooms on here. There's one which is sort of the, when there's a multi-level one with big windows, like the traditional one. That's the one that I remember going in when I was a kid. I thought that was so cool. And there's 2 that are on the sides that are smaller. And even the ones that are on the sides, I was noticing yesterday that they have walls quite often. So even though it may be really busy, you can only see like 20 people at a time. So it doesn't feel busy. So I quite like that. Yeah. How does Norwegian Cruise Line compare to Princess? That is a tricky one. Norwegian Cruise Line, I would say, is more sort of younger focused. It is more no dress codes. It's not as traditional. Princess is more of a traditional cruise, I would say. Norwegian's more freestyle. There's, I would say, younger people on Norwegian than Princess. Love them both. Fantastic. But if I was probably going to take some of my friends on a cruise, who were in their 20s or 30s, and I wanted to impress them with a really cool ship, I'll probably take them on, well, maybe one of the newer Princess ships, but maybe a Norwegian ship. If I was going with my family, and we're not going on the go-karts, we don't really want to do any of that stuff, probably a Princess cruise. So yeah, just both great, but quite different. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing the link to my booking a cruise page. Yes, if you do want to book a Norwegian cruise, not just this one, but anyone, we do have some onboard credit that we can give away for like a limited time. So yeah, you might as well have that free stuff, right? We all like free stuff. Have you done the Ketchikan stop yet? I have not. And how far is it from the downtown area? So we dock in not Ketchikan, a place called Ward Cove. and then we have to get a shuttle bus. I'm not sure how long the shuttle bus is. Free shuttle bus, it's put on, but we don't dock in actual Ketchikan. We did back on my first cruise in 2005, but we don't dock there anymore. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'm not there yet. I do have an excursion there though, so I probably won't be doing the shuttle into town. Yes. Please remember to like this live stream. Yes, if you can, that would be much appreciated. That would be really cool. Jamie says medallions and cruise cards. Yes, Princess, of course, have the wearable medallion technology. Norwegian still have the traditional cruise cards. I would show you it, but it is in the door because it turns on the lights. And I don't think we want to do this live stream in the dark. But yes, I would like, I mean, I can't really show you around this room too much because I don't want to move the laptop. And if you look outside, give it a minute to like, you see trees, right? No bears there yet, but maybe there'll be bears there at some point. But I'm in a balcony cabin, the most standard, most popular type of balcony cabin on board. And it's a nice balcony cabin. It's very comfortable. Everything's sort of like, I don't know, just like closes nicely. You know what I mean? It's not as nice as Prima. Prima is still my favorite balcony cabin, but it's pretty good. I can see how they took this and then they went to Prima. Yeah. It's just like, you know, in the lamps here, there's USBs, but it's like the more old style USBs, and now on Prima it's USB, whatever the new one is. Yeah, maybe you'll see a moose. I don't know if there are any moose here. I don't know. I'm up for seeing anything. I'd love to see a whale or something. That would be really cool. I was expecting water and maybe some port stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, yesterday I had a port there, but this time I'm on the tree side, so I haven't been out yet. You know, it's early in the morning here. We're 9 hours behind the UK. So I will, once I finish this live stream, I'll go outside and see what's happening. USB-C, yes, exactly. That's what I use to charge my phone now. Mooses, I don't know. Moose. I would like to see either. I'm in a wheelchair. How accessible is the Encore? I think it's pretty accessible. It's a ship built in 2019, and the newer ships are definitely, from what I've heard from other people, are better than the older ones. Cruise ships, I think, are much more accessible than general life, though. I will say, I think they're very, very good at it. Along my corridor, there's a couple of accessible cabins, you know, with the big doors. They have the buttons. They automatically open. So, yeah, I think the key really is if you're in a wheelchair and you need an accessible cabin, you can't really wait last minute because they have a certain number of those cabins. Once they're sold, then they're sold. So it does take a little bit more organizing. You will see whales. You might see mooses in the buffet. Ha, ha, ha. Yes, there are moose there. I haven't seen any yet, but that would be very cool. Scary, though, I think. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a moose. 9:37 Alaska time. Yes. Yeah, my laptop is still in UK time. It thinks it's nearly 7, which is crazy. How are you keeping Captain Hudson safe from wildlife? His approach to wildlife is stay still. You know, when they say stay still, nothing will see you, that's his approach. And it seems to be working okay. Anything peculiar about the elevators on Encore? I've not been in an elevator, so let me know what is peculiar and maybe I'll go and have a look at it. But yeah, I'm trying to walk as much as I can on this cruise, and my cabin's kind of in the middle, so it's fine. I break it up if I'm going from the bottom to the top, but it's all right. How does Alaska compare to Norway? It's an interesting one. It's tricky. I think the difference is a lot of places in Norway you go to are just cities, towns, normal people living, going about their life. Whereas Alaska here, it feels like this is more for tourists. It wakes up when tourists come here, if that makes sense. But I really like both. You know, obviously it's easier to go to Norway if you're in the UK. But both are fantastic. Very, very different though. You know, there's a lot of interesting things you can learn about, a lot of things you can see. In terms of looking at the scenery, the difference really is these trees are very high. Everything's very high here. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your comments. They're coming in so fast. Heading on a Northern Lights cruise in February, can we wear boot cleats on the ship's deck if it's icy and snowy? Yes, you can. You have to take them off normally when you get in the ship. I don't know about Viking, but that's how it's always been on other ships that I've been on. So yeah, you just can't wear them like on the carpet, but outside it's fine. Everyone will stand by the doors. They normally have you know, like mats on the floor. Everyone's changing their shoes. So yes. Yeah. I'm missing the fun on Queen Anne. I have seen a lot of people on Queen Anne. Yeah, that does seem to be the place to be at the moment, which is very cool. But if you're gonna miss Queen Anne, you know, where better to miss it from than from Alaska? It's kind of the place to be. What deck are you on? I'll let you know all about my cabin when I'm not in my cabin, if that's all right. But I will be making a completely separate video just about this cabin in general. My goodness, I need some squash. And about really, you know, do you need a balcony for Alaska? My first cruise, actually, everyone thinks Emma's always cruising inside cabins, but my first cruise was in a balcony, actually, when I was a child. It was a family member who I didn't really know passed away, left my gran some money. She took us on a cruise and she got us balcony cabins. So I started in a balcony cabin. That's where I began. And then I've gone back into inside cabins. And now I'm back out again. So that's very cool. Are you doing any flying excursions? I'm not. And I don't know that I don't know. Everyone says that is the thing. That is the best thing to do. I don't know. I've seen a lot of these little planes that land on the water and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. What year was your first cruise? 2005. 2005. Yeah, there's a lot of flying excursions. It seems very, very cool thing to do. Yeah, but helicopters and stuff too. But I don't know. I think I'd feel a bit claustrophobic and a bit panicky in the helicopter. I'm going on a train today, and I would much prefer to go on a train, I think. Yeah. At this stage, the only cabin you've not reviewed is a crew one. So I mean, I've only stayed in normal cabins. I've stayed in inside cabins, ocean view cabins, balcony cabins. I've done mini suite cabins, but mini suites when it's a big balcony. I've never had a proper suite before. I am hoping to do a really cool suite later in the year, but we'll have to see if that works out. We will see. We will see. You have to do a helicopter. I don't want to do a helicopter. I don't want to. I much prefer to go on a train. Much prefer to go on a train. What are your thoughts on Carnival? I do have one Carnival cruise that I took and one video I made about that. I cruise out of New York. So if you want to check out that video, that'll answer far more than I can here. Yeah, very few people live in Skagway year-round. They only get one grocery ship per month during winter. Really? Oh, my goodness. But yes, it feels very much like it wakes up, you know, tourism is what is here. In Norway, I mean, some places there's not loads of people. Some places there are, you know. I don't know. It just feels different. It feels sort of like, I don't know. It's just different. Both are brilliant. Both are really, really great. Trains don't go to glaciers. Well, okay, that's fine. I've already been to that glacier that you're talking about, so it's okay. Oh my goodness, flown a helicopter. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I could just sit here and read the comments for a very long time, but I won't. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Alaska has been, I think it is the most requested thing that I've ever been asked about. I think we've had it on every single live stream since we started doing live streams. So it's very, very nice to be here. It's nice to sort of, I've done a lot of research. I've watched a lot of videos about these places, but it's really different to be here in person. It's really, really cool. I've never been to Australia. No, I'd love to go to Australia. That is top of the bucket list. But I just think at the moment it's not really possible. Just with like my work and everything, just logistically, I'd love to go. Just logistically, it's tricky at the minute. So this is the thing: stay off the helicopters. They're nothing but trouble. Exactly. I don't know. I don't know. Skagway is gorgeous in winter. Yes, it is all gorgeous. It's very, very pretty. There's a lot of, you know. We were in Juneau yesterday, and we were in kind of an odd time. So we docked at 2:30 in the afternoon. I got off and went on my excursion, but we were in port until 10 p.m., which is really nice because we got to wander back to the ship as the sun set. It wasn't too cold, and all the shops know when the ships are in, of course. So everything was still open in the evening, which was really cool. But there's a lot of, you know, bars you can go to, places to buy jewelry, places to buy souvenirs. Interesting just to look around, like lots of different like sculptures and art and stuff. It was cool. Yeah, my gran certainly started something. She did. My gran brought me on that first cruise when I was 11, and look where we are now. Look where we are now. I do think about that a lot because I've seen recently in the UK they've upped how much you get fined if you take your kids out of school in school holiday in school time. I don't know if other countries do this. I don't know. But if you take your kids out of school to go on holiday in term time, you get fined like a lot, and it increases a lot. And then I was thinking, well, like occasionally I went out of school to do that, right? And I turned out all right. The people not want, I'm the worst case scenario, turn out like me, working in the cruise industry. Are you doing, oh, New England and Canada, a must do or no? I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did a cruise there out of New York. It was very, very rainy. Everyone had these rain ponchos. But I really like Canada. I would do that again. Definitely would do that. Yeah, Rich says, so we have Emma's Grant to thank for all her content. Yes, we do. We do. Yeah, we do. We do. We do. We do. We do. Yeah, went in August, so didn't get fined for Alaska anyway. Yes. Is it cheaper to pay the fine than to go out of school holidays? Yeah, I think so. But if you do it 3 times, it goes up to like £1,000 or something. I was reading. It's crazy. So a couple of times probably, but I'm not sure. Yes. Be sure to wear a hat. Yeah, I haven't bought a hat actually. A lot of people were telling me I saw very, very long packing lists before I came to Alaska. People saying essentials you must pack, and they were things like hiking poles. Like, not really a hiking pole. Some of them were quite funny, but really, if you're from the UK, you just bring your normal clothes. I'm just wearing normal trousers, trainers, sneakers if you're not from the UK, and a jumper or a sweater if you're not from the UK, and a raincoat. And really, that's it. There's nothing. It's not that tricky. Not that tricky. Which cruises do you prefer, British or an American? I like a mix of both. I like to cruise where there's different people on a cruise. I think that makes it most interesting. I think if you go on a cruise where everyone is American or everyone is British, everyone seems to go to the same place at the same time. If you go on a British cruise, everyone wants to do trivia at the same time. Versus when I took a cruise with an American cruise line, but in Asia, the only people at trivia were Brits. Like everyone seems to spread out differently. And it just makes it more interesting. You know, I went to see Choir of Man, and they had people come up on stage and get very into it. And like, if that was just, I don't know where those people were from, of course, but it was just really interesting to see all different people. They actually handed out beers at that show in the theater. I did get one. I don't like beer, but they handed out beer. Yeah, Megan says, are parents allowed to homeschool in the UK? Yeah, so you don't have to send your kid to school at all. But if you do and then take them out, then you get in trouble. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why you just put them out of school, go on holiday and be like, oh, I want to go back to school. I don't know. So strange. Why did you choose to depart from Seattle instead of Vancouver? Did you find Seattle to be a better port? Purely flights, just looking at flights from London, there were direct flights to Seattle that worked better than Vancouver. I don't think I could get flights direct to Vancouver. I'd have to change somewhere. And it was just a nice, easy 9.5-hour flight London took. Do you have a balcony cabin on this cruise? Do you think an inside cabin is acceptable on a cruise to Alaska? So yes, I have a balcony cabin. I'm making a video about this cabin for Norwegian. So that's why if you look at this video, if you look at all my posts, you'll see AD at the beginning, ad, right? And that's because I'm here I haven't paid for my cruise fare. So I want to make that as clear as possible. I'm here to make videos for Norwegian, which for me, as someone who started cruising with Norwegian at 11, to be hired to do what I have been practicing for so many years is crazy cool. But yes, that means that I get a balcony cabin, and that means that I get to do all the nice excursions, and that means that they give my travel agents extra onboard credit that we can give out if people book cruises through us. So win-win-win, I think. But yes, I have a balcony cabin. It's very nice. Is it acceptable to have an inside? Yes, it is acceptable. I think I would want to look at what ship I was doing. Some ships are quite inward facing. This one has a really nice promenade deck, so I would be quite happy to sit out there and use that as my balcony cabin. I will say a lot of the sail-ins and the sail-outs are very long, and we will sort of come in, go out, come in, go out, get a coat, get a drink, sit down out there. And I would miss that if I was in an inside cabin on here. But yes. Will this video come out on Norwegian's channel or Emma Cruise's YouTube channel? So on my channel, you'll see my normal work, my normal video, my sort of story video. I took an Alaskan cruise. This is where I ate. This is what I did. All that normal stuff on there. And Norwegian want me to make a video about Alaska. So it'll be in more depth about the excursions that we go on. I'm making one about the cabin for them, and I'm making another one as well. But I haven't sorted that one out yet. So yeah. My channel, everything's same as normal. You will recognize, as soon as I start the video, you'll be like, yep, this is exactly how Emma starts a video with, I've just disembarked a cruise. But yeah, we have bonus stuff, so that's very cool. Oh, Jack says, so happy Norwegian was smart enough to hire you. Thank you very much. I mean, I have been promoting them for many, many years, since I was 11. So I think it is about time. Do you smell smoke on this ship? I haven't. I've been asked this a couple of times, so I'm not sure if some thing has changed or someone has gone somewhere to smell smoke that I haven't. But there is a smoking section in the casino, but it's like behind closed doors. I can't smell through the doors. I don't know if other people can. And also on the promenade deck, there's like, you know, in airports, they have like glass boxes where people go and smoke in them. They have like that here. So I haven't, this is really not a smoky ship. There's other cruise lines that are, I think, way more smoky than this. I wouldn't even mention the smoke if it wasn't a question. Do you all agree that they should open a shop called Emma Cruises Cookies? That would be amazing. And you can just get them in the post. Maybe like every day you just get a different cookie in the post. That would be amazing. Rich says, if you're going to splurge for a balcony, then do that in Alaska. Every second is a postcard picture. Yes. I think Norway and Alaska are the ones I would recommend. You know, if you're taking a cruise out of the UK in November and you're going to Rotterdam and Bruges and Le Havre, wherever else it goes, you're just going to see shipping containers. It's going to be dark. Don't bother. You know, I have cruises like that coming up. I've booked inside cabins because I don't really care. I prefer to save the money. But Alaska, you know, if there are whales or something, you're not going to, well, you could miss them, you know. And you've come all this way, so yeah. Jamie says, on a British line last week, the smoking area on the main deck was right by the stairs, so I had to walk through it every day. Interesting. How strange. Oh, statement. Whenever you post on Community, I read it in your voice and your accents. I hope so. That's really cool. That's really funny. But yeah, I try and write as I speak, you know. So hopefully it comes out in the same, like, up and down. Do you have any plans to go on P&O cruises? I have one booked at the moment, yes. I've done quite a lot of P&O cruises. I've been on Iona twice. I've been on Avia. I've been on Ventura. So you can check out those videos on my channel, yes. The White Pass train ride is the best. Yeah, that is what I'm doing today. So I'm so excited about that. I know for a lot of you watching this, the day is over, but my day is just starting. I'm going to go get some food after this, and I'm going to go out on my excursion. So yeah, very nice. Bonus Wednesday boost of happiness. Thank you very much, Bill. Appreciate it. It is like, I mean, the reason I started this channel, the reason I started my website is I used to go on cruises and I would come back and I would say to my friends, oh my goodness, can you believe that the American diner is now free and it used to be paid? And my friends would be like, what are you talking about? I don't care. So now I have a place to say that. And it is true. The American diner is now free. And I think it used to be paid. But it's so nice to have a place where I can share stuff like that. And I've met so many nice people on this cruise too. I've even met Captain Hudson's that are out and about, which is amazing. Rich says, Emma is the Morgan Freeman of cruising. I can't do a Morgan Freeman, but yeah, thank you. Your memory of each cruise and ship is amazing. Well, I do. The thing is I do refresh and do see it all a lot. The thing is it's not like, I don't know. It's not like the last time I saw a cruise that I took 10 years ago was 10 years ago, because I'm always updating stuff on my website. I'm sending out newsletters. I'm writing new things all the time. So it's constantly being refreshed. I think it's mostly what is in my brain though. Like I don't have great general knowledge. I don't, you know, I never like watch quiz shows or anything on TV. My brain is just full of cruise stuff because I find it really interesting, which is good, right? I think it's good. Currently on a Mediterranean cruise on NCL Viva, finding it interesting how different a cruise is in the Caribbean to Europe. Yes, I would always pick, I think, Mediterranean over the Caribbean, personally. Does Norwegian provide a paper copy of the daily itinerary? It is right here. They do every day, paper copy. It is also in the app. The app has been pretty good. Nothing has gone wrong with it. I just say that because normally when I'm talking about an app, I say it's good, but this doesn't work. Nothing's gone wrong with it. The daily schedule is in there. There's no menus in there, I don't think. I think that's the only thing that I would like. But I can see my onboard account. I can see when my excursions are, little descriptions of them and stuff like that. So that's cool. Rich says, do you watch your own content? The only time I really watch my own content is when I'm making new content and I'm like, what did I say before? I don't remember. You know, if I'm making a video, I made some recently about sort of balcony cabins that face into the ship. So when I did the second one on MSC, I watched my video, of course, from Royal Caribbean to remind me, oh yeah, there's no curtain or whatever it was. That's the only time really, but it's really, once you see your face so much and you hear your own voice so much, I don't really want to watch it again. Why are they phasing out promenades? They are awesome. So Norwegian Cruise Line are not phasing out promenades, as far as I know. But a lot of cruise lines are, and it probably just comes down to money, like space, I guess. But yeah, I agree. I really like a good promenade deck, definitely. Do you edit your own videos or do you have a editor? If the latter, how did you find them? So I do have an editor, and I found him when he was born. He came to live in my house because he's my brother. So I edited the first, I think, 450 videos. And the last 6 months, my brother has been editing them with me, of course. I don't think you can tell the difference because I've obviously trained him. But yes, I figured I could either find someone who knows how to edit and teach them Emma, right? Or I can find someone who knows Emma and teach them how to edit. And I learned how to edit myself, trial and error. My brother's already better at it than me, faster than me. So it was definitely a good idea. Definitely a good idea. Important question. Do you pay him? Of course I do. It's his full-time job. He wouldn't do it for free. I mean, I did it for free for many years, but that's very different. Oh, so many nice comments in here. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, it's really weird to be this far back in a time zone. I'm really not used to it. Sometimes I'll come to sort of the East Coast, but yeah, didn't realize 9 hours, 9 hours. Did NCL get rid of Pepsi? I've been on several of their cruises and heard they don't have it anymore. Yes, look at this. Coke ship. It's okay. It's not too bad. Really nice Wi-Fi up here. It is okay, actually. We are docked right now. So we're in port, we're in Skagway. And I thought, while we're still, you know, of course, Alaska, there's a lot of mountains around. I don't blame the internet for not being able to get in, but it has actually never stopped completely. It's been all right. So fingers crossed, it's good. This is a pretty new ship. If any ship's going to be all right, I would think it would. Norwegian are quite sort of good at their tech, I think. So we'll see how the rest of the cruise goes. I'm still quite early on in this cruise, and we've had one port. Today is our second port. We have a sea day tomorrow where it's like scenic sea day sailing, and then we have another port, and then we have our technical stop in Canada. So yes, I think NCL uses Starlink. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm using the Wi-Fi. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I think people, I always think, oh, I'm going to need a lot of internet because there's 835 people watching. That's not how it works. This is just the same internet as if you were doing a Zoom call or something. I'm just sharing one video and audio, and then YouTube and StreamYard that I use are sharing it to all of you. So it only needs sort of a couple of a meg. Can you show us the view from your balcony? If you rewind a little bit, I did earlier. I don't want to get it all sort of out of focus, but it's just trees. There's nothing really to see out there today. If you are wanting to see more up to date, you know, as I'm going on these cruises, I'm updating my Instagram and Facebook stories. That's what I'm eating. That's where I'm going at the time. If you want to see the dogs and stuff from the dog sled, that's the most up-to-date place. And then if you don't want to miss, you know, my videos and my posts, please make sure I have your email address, because that is the only way I can send you an email. I normally send one a week, and I just say, you know, here's my latest video. This is when the next live stream is. This is what's happening. If there's any, you know, Captain Hudson books are ready or anything like that, that's how I'll tell you. So just type in your email address on emmacruises.com, and I would muchly appreciate that. We have got 1.5 minutes. If you have any really quick fire questions, please get them in the chat and I will answer them as much as I can. Is Alaska different from how you remember it? No, I don't think so. I think I remembered random things because I was 11. You know, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is the transport links. Like I was thinking, oh my gosh, a yellow school bus. This is like being in a movie. And I still think the same thing. There's so many things. I've made a list on my phone of really American things that I don't think Americans would think are American things. Like I had a bath and the bath is on the floor. Like your baths are so low down under the bath and yours is on the ground. So yeah, maybe one day I'll go through or write a blog post or something on my list of things that are very American, but they don't, you know, it's not a classic American. It's just for me as a Brit. Oh, king crab legs are never on my to-do list. Crabs don't come anywhere near any of my to-do lists. I don't really like seafood. Yeah. Yeah, European bathtubs. Yeah, we have all the plumbing and the pipes and stuff under the bath. So the bath's on feet. Mine is anyway. So just maybe that much higher off the ground. But it just feels weird to get into a bath and be laying on the floor, like the actual floor. When you got to get out, that's a big climb. Not a problem, of course, not a problem. But yes. Are you finding the free at sea to be good value? I absolutely loved it on NCO Escape a few months back. Yes. And also, I feel like I have enhanced because I have my loyalty status that gets me a free bag of laundry, 2 specialty meals. So I get the ones that are included in the free at sea. And then I feel like I've boosted it just by, I don't know if you can still get a loyalty status from cruising as a kid, but I did. So I'm keeping it. All right, that is it for our live stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to be sharing, over the next few days. I really appreciate all of your comments and all of your questions and all my posts. And I will be, I'll be writing this on the plane. Like, I'm so excited to share this. And as soon as I'm back home, I'll be sharing the videos. And we have more videos than normal coming, which it needs it. There's so much to show you. Right, I will see you all later. Thanks for coming. Bye.